my little reading buddies. How are you today? This is your own Gomati auntie. Welcome to another one of those Christmas stories. Today we are counting down 9 days until Christmas. And I hope you would have liked the other three stories that I had read in the past. If you have not checked those stories yet, click on the link up here and you will be able to check them all out. Now to today's story. Yesterday we saw a story about 10 wishes. Now today is about the famous reindeer. Any guesses? Is it about Dasher or Dancer? Vixen? Nah. This is about Rudolph. That's right. Today's story about Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. I hope you all must have already heard the story about Rudolph and how he became all famous and got his name in the history. Let's read on to find more about how Rudolph made history on this very foggy Christmas Eve. Let's jump on to the story, shall we? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is written by Robert L. May and illustrated by Antonio Javier Caparo and published by the Simon and Schuster. It was the day before Christmas, and all through the hills the reindeer were playing, enjoying their spells, while every so often they would stop to call names at one little reindeer not allowed in the games. Ha ha! Look at Rudolph! His nose is a sight. It's red as a beet, twice as big, twice as bright. While Rudolph just cried, what else could he do? He knew that the things they were saying were true. Where most reindeers' noses were brownish and tiny, poor Rudolph's was red, very large, and quite shiny. In daylight, it sparkled. You see, it sparkles. At night time, it glowed like the eyes of a cat. Although he was lonesome, he always was good, obeying his parents as good reindeer should. That's why on this day, Rudolph almost felt playful. He hoped that from Santa, soon driving his sleigh full of presents and candy and dollies and toys for good little animals, good girls and boys, he'd get just as much as the happier, handsomer reindeer who teased him. So, as night and the fog hit the world like a hood, he went to bed hopeful. He knew he'd been good. You see, Rudolph is going to bed and he's dreaming of all the goodies that he would get from Santa for Christmas as present. While way up north, on the same foggy night, old Santa was packing his sleigh for its flight. "This fog," he called out, "will be hard to get through." He shook his round head, and his tummy shook too. "Without any stars or a moon as our compass, this exact dark night is quite likely to swamp us. To keep from collision, we'll have to fly slow. To see where we are going, we'll have to fly low. We'll steer by the street lamps and houses tonight, in order to finish before it gets light. Just think how the boys' and girls' hopes would be shaken if we didn't reach them before they awaken. Come, Dasher! Come, Dancer! Come, Prancer and Vixen! Come, Comet! Come, Cupid! Come, Donner and Blitzen! You see, they are all the names of the reindeers that pull Santa's sleigh. Be quick with your suppers. Get hitched in a hurry. You too will find fog a delay and a worry. And Santa was right, as he usually is. The fog was as thick as a soda's white fizz. He tangled in treetops again and again, and barely missed hitting a huge speeding plane. Uh-oh! Just not getting lost needed all Santa's skills. With street signs and numbers more difficult still. He still made good speed with much twisting and turning as long as the street lamps and house lights were burning. At each house, first checking what people might live there, he'd quickly pick out the right presents to give there. But lights will be out after midnight, he said, for even most parents have then gone to bed. Because it might wake them, a match was denied him. Oh my, how he wished for just one star to guide him. Through dark streets and houses, old Santa did poorly. He now picked the presents more slowly, less surely. He really was worried. For what would he do if folks started waking before he was through? That night was still foggy and not at all clear. When Santa arrived at the home of the deer, onto the roof with the clouds all around it, he searched for the chimney and finally found it. The room he came down in was blacker than ink. He went for a chair, but it turned out a sink. Oh. The first reindeer room was so very black. He tripped on the rug and burst open his pack. So hard that he had to move close to the bed and peeked very hard at the sleeping deer's head before he could choose the right kind of toy, a doll for a girl or a train for a boy. But all this took time and filled Santa with gloom. While feeling this way toward the next reindeer's room, the door he just opened when, to his surprise, a soft glowing red-colored light met his eyes. The lamp wasn't burning. The light came instead from something that lay at the head of the bed. And there lay, but wait now, what would you suppose? The glowing, you've guessed it, the Rudolph's red nose. So this room was easy. This one little light let Santa pick quickly the gifts that were right. How happy was Santa till he went out the door. The rest of the house was as black as before. So black that it made every step a dark mystery. And then came the greatest idea in all history. He went back to Rudolph and started to shake him, of course, very gently in order to wake him. And Rudolph could hardly believe his own eyes. You just can't imagine his joy and surprise at seeing who stood there, a paw's length away, and told of the darkness and fog and delay, and Santa's great worry that children might waken before his complete Christmas trip had been taken. And you, he told Rudolph, may yet save the day. Your bright shining nose, son, can show us the way. I need you, young fellow, to help me tonight, to lead all my dear on the rest of our flight. And Rudolph broke out into such a big grin. It almost connected him ears and his chin. He scribbled a note to his folks in a hurry. I've gone to help Santa, he wrote. Do not worry. Said Santa, meet me and my sleigh on the lawn. You'd stick in the chimney. And flash, he was gone. So Rudolph pranced out through the door very gay and took his proud place at the head of the sleigh. The rest of the night, well, what would you guess? Old Santa's idea was a brilliant success. The brilliant was almost no word for the way that Rudolph directed the deer and the sleigh. In spite of the fog, they flew quickly and low and made such good use of the wonderful glow that shone out from Rudolph at each intersection, that not even once did they lose their direction. At all of the houses and streets with a sign on them, the sleigh flew real low so Rudolph could shine on them to tell who lived where and just what to give whom. They'd stop by each window and peek in the room. Old Santa knew always which children were good and minded their parents and ate as they should. Oh, you see, Santa is looking for children that are good and obey their parents and ate proper meals. So I'm hoping you guys are eating well and being good children. So Santa would pick out the gift that was right, with Rudolph close by, making just enough light. It all went so fast that before it was day, the very last present was given away. The very last stocking was filled to the top, just as the sun was preparing to pop. The sun woke the reindeer in Rudolph's hometown. They found the short message that he had written down, then gathered outside to wait his return. And were they surprised and excited to learn that Rudolph, the ugliest deer of them all, Rudolph the red-nosed, bashful and small, the funny-faced fellow that always called names and practically never allowed in their games, was now to be envied by all, far and near. For no greater honor can come to a deer than riding with Santa and guiding his sleigh. The number one job on the number one day. The sleigh and its reindeer soon came into view, and Rudolph still led them as downward they flew. Oh my, was he proud as they came to a landing, right where his handsomer playmates were standing. The same reindeer who used to do nothing but tease him would now have done anything only to please him. They felt even sorrier they had been bad when Santa said, Rudolph, I never have had a deer quite so brave or so brilliant as you at fighting black fog and at steering me through. By you, last night's journey was actually bossed. Without you, I'm certain we'd all have been lost. I hope you'll continue to keep us from grief on future dark trips as Commander in Chief. While Rudolph just blushed from his head to his toes till all of his fur was as red as his nose. The crowd first applauded, then started to screech, Hooray for our Rudolph! And we want a speech! But Rudolph, still bashful, despite being a hero, was tired. His sleep on the trip totally zeroed. So that's why his speech was quite short and not bright. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And that's why, whenever it's foggy and grey, it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed who guides Santa's sleigh. Be listening this Christmas, but don't make a peep, cause that late at night children should be asleep. The very first sound that you'll hear on the roof, that is, if there's a fog, will be Rudolph's small hoof. And soon after that, if you're still as a mouse, you may hear a swish as he flies round the house and shines enough light to give Santa a view of you and your room. And when they're all through, you may hear them call as they drive out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoyed reading this story with me. You see how Rudolph, was never discouraged, although he was never included in any of the reindeer's, games, and he was always ridiculed. He never gave up. You see, when you never give up, you are rightly rewarded. That's right. And today, Auntie wants to talk about something else about the spirit of Christmas. Yeah. So we said yesterday that, Christmas is about giving and sharing. Christmas is also about hope. That's right. And that's why Auntie picked this story today, where Rudolph was so hopeful about, things that happened around him, never gave up. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Whenever you are faced with any, problems, always remember there is always hope. There is always light at the end of the tunnel, and you shall never, never, ever give up. Right? It's about hope today. Well, who's up for the song of the day? And today's song is a no-brainer. Any guesses? Yeah, that's right. Auntie's gonna sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw him, you would even say it close. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. That's the Rudolph song based out of the story. I don't know which came first, the book or the story or the song. But for us, end of the day, it's the entertainment, right? So I hope you enjoyed that song and the content of the video today. If you did, please like, share and subscribe. And did you know Auntie is telling stories every day at 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time? That's right. So if you want more stories, please make an effort to join Auntie live every day. Ask your parents about the details. Auntie has already shared it with them, and I will also leave the details in the description down below so you can easily find the details. Auntie would love to see you all in the live session with me. So what are you waiting for? Remember, it's 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time every day until Christmas. And Auntie is also leaving links for some of the similar stories up here. So click and enjoy more stories. And I have one final thing to say. You see here, this area, there is something around how I arrange these books. There is a clue that Auntie leave for you every single day. I know you are all so intelligent. If you're one of those intelligent kids, come on, take a guess and leave in the comment section what is the clue Auntie is leaving you all every day. And every single one of you that guess it right will have a one-on-one session with Auntie, a full half an hour of story of your choice. Auntie is so excited about these sessions. So, come on, take a guess and leave in the comment. I'm excited to see your guesses. Alright, with that, we come to the end of today's episode. See you guys tomorrow. Take care and read lots and lots of books. And remember, always be hopeful. Bye, you guys. Love you all. Bye bye.